Good evening and welcome to Neighborhood Board 14. We do have quite a few guests this evening and we have a surprise presentation by Committee. We'll look forward to that. Uh, bef- Just before we begin, I'd like to just have a few administrative announcements. Please turn off your cell phones. And if you want to be recognized, please raise your hand even if you're from the audience or on the WebEx. So with that, Camila, can you take a roll call for a quorum?
Okay. Roll call, Chair Fong,
Here.
Higa, Ka'apu, here, Magawai,
Here.
Mitsuda, Suda, Na'awao Ota, not here yet, Pang, Yamamoto, not here yet, White, not here, Nita, Kentrill,
Here.
Christian, not here, Valdez,
Here.
9 members present, you have quorum.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, first on the agenda, Hawaii Fire Department. Hello, Fire Department.
Good afternoon, everybody, or good evening. Captain Carvalho from the Engine 4 Kuakini Fire Station. Just to let you know, we are still in service, so if we have an alarm, we're gonna have to leave abruptly. But anyway, I'm gonna hand this over to our firefighter recruit, Bono. He'll be reading the statistics for this meeting. Fire.
Okay, good evening, everybody. So we're gonna provide the statistics. You guys have any questions on the fire response map? It's on our HFD website. If you have any further questions, you can email the HFD's Public Affairs and Media Liaison at hfdnhb@honolulu.gov. So our first statistic list is on fires. The first one being structure. We had none. 2 is going to be wildland or brush fires. 0 as well. Nuisance, 0. 1 cooking fire and 5 activated fire alarms with no fire. And then for emergencies, under the medical category, we had 115. Motor vehicle collision with pedestrians, 0. Motor vehicle collision or crash, 1. Mountain rescue, 0. Ocean rescue, 0. And hazmat incidents, 0. Sorry. So just some quick tips from the department. Fire sprinklers serve as the first line of defense against fires and often extinguish the fire before the fire department arrives. You can find more information on these at homefiresprinkler.org. Some further tips: fire spreads quickly. A fire can turn deadly in under 2 minutes. Synthetic materials burn quickly and release deadly poisonous smoke. High-risk individuals in home fires include small children, elderly adults, those with disabilities, and pets. Fire sprinklers protect your home and family and activate automatically to control the fire, thereby giving everyone a chance to escape. The best protection is having working smoke alarms, fire sprinklers, and a practice fire escape plan. Further information about this can also be found on our website at fire.honolulu.gov. Questions?
Any questions from the board? Any questions from the audience? How about from WebEx? Any questions for the Honolulu Fire Department? You know, I was always wanting to ask this. It's a sort of a mundane question, but what are your ranks? I'm military. I see you're a recruit, is that it?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So I just started a month and a half ago, I think. So that's why my shirt isn't adorned with as many cool things as my captain here. But yeah, so I'm the new guy.
Okay, and after recruit, then where do you go from there?
I'll become a firefighter 1, hopefully in about a month and a half.
What do? You get a stripe?
Just one little tick mark, like what he's got, the 1. So right now I don't have the 1, but
A tick mark?
the number 1. Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, kind of elaborate a little bit further. So he actually started 9 months ago. So they go through 8.5. Currently, the training for the new hirees are 8.5 months. So they go through 8.5 months of training, and they start off as a firefighter recruit. After 8.5 months, they're released from the training into what we call suppression, which is the field. So they get assigned to a fire truck that we call a company, and they're still a recruit up until 1 year. After 1 year, if they pass their probationary period, then they become firefighter 1s, and they get to wear the 1 next to the firefighter. So we have the ranking for the fire department goes firefighter recruit, firefighter 1, firefighter 2, firefighter 3. So firefighter 2 is specialized positions like rescue, hazmat, chief's aid, fire dispatch. Firefighter 3s are usually what we call engineers. They're usually the drivers of the truck, of the fire truck, and the pump operators. And then the next rank above that is captain. And then after captain, and this is just for Honolulu Fire Department. The different fire departments, they have ranks like lieutenant and so forth, but we don't have that. Then after captain, then you have your chiefs. You have battalion chiefs and assistant chiefs. Then you have the deputy fire chief and then the fire chief.
So you're not like the HPD, they go up the rank, from private to corporal, then et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, we're a paramilitaristic organization, so we don't follow exactly like the military, but similar with the ranking system.
So I see you have 5 stars. Is that 5 stars? I can't see that far.
Yeah, yes.
So how long have you been in?
So each, I've been in I just made 28 years. So, wow. You get to put, so you get to, it's elective whether you want to have the stars put on your dress shirt, but for every 5 years of service, you're allowed to put 1 star on your shirt. So.
Well, I want to really thank you for that explanation. I always wondered. So you jump from number 3 to a captain. Wow. And then go up, and then it'll be a chief, right? Pretty
Yeah,
much.
chief.
Wow. Anybody else have any questions? Well, if not, how about a big round of applause for our Honolulu Fire Department? Thank you very much for coming. Thank you. We'll put out some fires.
We'll try our best.
You do a great job, I'll tell you.
Thank you.
You. All right, next line. Honolulu Police Department. Honolulu Police Department,
Hi, sir.
welcome.
Hi, can everybody hear me clearly?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Lieutenant Creighton Hatiko with the Kalihi Police Station. I'm one of the nighttime commanders. Let me give you the stats for the month of April. 0 aggravated assaults. There were 6 auto thefts, 3 burglaries, no robberies, no sex assaults, 1 simple assault, 10 basic thefts, and 7 thefts from vehicles. There was 1,282 calls for service in your area, which is down a bit from 1,336 in the month of March. Just some notes. The burglaries occurred in the 1,200 block of ʻālewa Drive, the 1,400 block of Kokea Street, and the 1,800 block of Makuakane up at Kamehameha Schools. Most of them involved forced windows. So I'll get to a tip on that after I review the auto thefts. The auto thefts occurred in the 2,100 block of Hoftailing, 400 block of North School Street, 500 block of North School Street, 1,600 block of Alaneo Street, another one at the 1,600 block at Hoftailing, and 1,600 block of Hanai Loop. Most of the auto thefts involved, well, one of them involved the key being left in the car. And another one, the ignition had been punched. The other ones have not been recovered yet, so we're unsure of the nature of the theft. Tip of the month for burglaries, because so often in Hawaii it involves the forcing of windows. Some ways that you can harden your home is to take a walk around and make an assessment of your home. If you have windows, and a lot of us in Hawaii do have windows that don't require a ladder to reach or anything, you want to try and harden those windows. If it's louvers, you can go to City Mill, I believe Home Depot as well, and you can get the clips that locks the louver panes into the mechanism on the window. What that does is it forces them, they cannot slide the thing out, they have to break it. And anytime there's a sound of breaking glass around homes, a lot of people take notice. Also, when you have these windows, make note if you have things that allow people to stand on below the windows, like a lot of people have gardens and tables outside and chairs. A lot of times we find these propped up against outside windows because the suspect used it as a prop to climb up and get into a window. So try and harden your home a little bit. My officers are more than happy to make an assessment of your home if you'd like, and they can check and they can do a walk around and they can give you some advice on how to harden your home against burglaries. If you kind of get a dedicated alarm or something like that. Let's see. Any questions or concerns?
First of all, I want to thank HPD because they've been sending up officers where on top of Liliha Heights to cut down a lot of, I think we had some burglaries. So you guys are doing a great job, and I'm glad to see that we don't have any violent crimes, any homicides, et cetera. Not that we're the tamest neighborhood, but I'm pretty safe, I hope.
Yeah.
Any questions from yes, go ahead.
I want to disagree with you, Wes, because 2 weeks ago, Kukini Street, can you brief us on that? Is that gang related, drug related? I mean, what is it?
Which incident are you speaking about, sir?
Gunshots fired between 7-Eleven and Kwananakoa Middle
Oh, okay,
School.
okay. The one that was on the news. I'm sorry about that. That was between acquaintances, and it wasn't random. Just know that it wasn't random. It was the parties had met there to conduct some kind of transaction, and a fight started, and that's what initiated the shooting. We have an idea of who's involved, but a lot of it comes down to cooperation from the parties, because sometimes witnesses and things like that don't want to get involved. So we are working that. It wasn't a random act, and the parties are known to each other.
Are you able to identify what type of transaction? Drugs, guns?
It's still under investigation. It was a legitimate transaction. Yeah, it wasn't like a drug transaction or anything like that.
Any other questions? Board? Audience? Yes, Liana, please come up.
Hi, I'm Leanna Ben. I think you listed me as a resident. I'm not a resident in this area anymore. I am a member of New Nu'uanu Baptist Church and an active member there.
Mhm.
On Monday the 21st, we had a HPD cleanup, one that we've been waiting for under the bridge where Nu'uanu and Pa'oa Road
Mhm.
by the Mexico gas station. The last time we cleaned it out, or maybe the last one, there was a chop shop down there. What did you find this time besides just junk? I mean, they would bring in stolen mopeds and bikes and convert them and then resell them. So did you find evidence of that? Because we see mopeds going down, up and down, and bicycles up and down at night.
Okay,
That's my question.
unfortunately, I'm not with the crew that did the cleanup. That's our community policing team. But I can find out from them and get some facts from them.
Okay.
I know that the cleanup occurred, but I'll let you know at the next meeting, ma'am.
Thank you.
No problem.
Good question. Anybody else from the audience? Questions? How about from WebEx? Anybody?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, who are you?
Yes, hi, my name is Sue Eberhard. I live in ʻālewa. I was going to ask for some police presence on ʻālewa, and or especially on Mamalu Street. We have constant people that they don't follow the speeds, especially when they're passing the stop sign. They speed all through the neighborhood. And I know that the DOT did do some type of survey, and they said that, because we requested bumps for people to slow down in specific areas. But at the time that the survey was done, they didn't feel that it was necessary at the time. But I feel that when you send a patrol officer, I know you guys are very limited resources, but if you could send a patrol officer early in the mornings or late at night when people are going up and down Mamalu Street, you will see a lot of people speeding, and it's very dangerous because we don't have sidewalks there.
Can I get the spelling of that street, ma'am?
It's Mamalu, but it's actually ʻālewa Drive, Alewa Drive.
Off of ʻālewa Drive and in Mamalu.
Yeah, you can start at 1204 all the way, or 1206 or 1208, all the way, down when it splits off to Mamalu and ʻālewa, or ʻālewa, but it's mostly ʻālewa. When you have that stop sign, or not the stop sign, but the yield, but nobody ever stops. Everyone just, not even 1 or 2 seconds, they just roll right through, and it's very dangerous. So if people could just, mind that there's a lot of kapunas that live in the area, a lot of people that walk on the sidewalks, it'd be greatly appreciated.
All right, I'll try and see if I can get my officers to do a project up there.
Ma'am, before you go away, are you talking about the four-way stop where the blinking light, then you go over from ʻālewa Drive into Mamalu, or is it you go to the right of that
Yes.
four-way? Yes, which one?
Yes, you can go right or left. The
Yes,
one
okay.
we're talking about is when people go to the left, when they veer left and go down. I mean, they speed down and they speed up, back and forth. That's notorious.
Yes, I agree with you. And I think there's already one accident that's the car overturned coming speeding down the Mamalu. I don't know what they can do. Maybe we ought to address that with our city representative. Because I've already mentioned the fact that there's no parking. If you go up Mamalu and then you come down Mamalu going Oka, there's no parking on that side, but you got a guy who's parking there. And the guy's parking on the right, and boy, I'm gonna wait for an accident. But thank you for bringing that up. I agree with you. We'll see what happens, but there is speeding down there. Anybody else?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. None? Okay, Lieutenant.
Oh, sorry. This is Kathy from Senator Kim's office. Sorry,
Yes.
Chair Fong. I had a question on behalf of a constituent. They wanted to know what HPD's procedures are for vehicles which are blocking private driveways. Does HPD tow it, or would the resident have to call for a tow truck?
No, they just call and just the rule and the law is it has to be 4 feet from the tip of the driveway. So where it's cut down to the curb where it rises to the top. From that top point, it has to be there has to be a 4 feet of space. If you have someone who's encroaching on your driveway, just call out HPD officer. We'll come, we'll tag it, and we'll tow it.
Oh, well, Lieutenant, so the person contacted our office. They said that when the police officer came, the police officer told them they weren't going to tow and that they could still exit the driveway. So this happened last week at Ekekela Place.
Kekela.
I can send you, the resident sent us pictures, so I can
I'll take your
provide
word
you
for it.
the, oh, okay.
Yeah, what I'll do, I'll double check whose beat was that. What day did this happen, ma'am?
Oh, I believe it happened last week, Friday, at about 4 in the morning, because the resident was trying to leave to go to work.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
He couldn't get out of the driveway safely.
He couldn't get out and ended up after the police officer left because he didn't want to take the chance and have his vehicle hit the curb and damage the sidewalk. So they just waited until the car moved.
Okay, okay,
And
that's
this
shouldn't be
was,
happening, but I'll speak to the
yeah, this was
officer.
the
Hopefully
second
not.
time that they've contacted HPD about cars blocking their driveway.
And both times you saying the officer didn't take action?
So both times the officer ticketed the car. So both cars got ticketed, but the first car, they could kind of exit. Oh, they had to do a little maneuvering. The
Mhm.
second time it was, they pretty much blocked almost a foot from the driveway. So it was really hard to exit without going over the other part of the sidewalk
Okay, okay.
this past time on Friday. That's why they reached out to us to find out, to get clarification on what the rules are for blocked driveways.
The officers always have discretion, but
Mhm.
normally it's supposed to be they're supposed to tow it, especially if it's that kind of thing encroaching on the driveway. But I'll follow up. I will find out exactly which officer is involved and I'll speak with them.
Okay, and then if you could contact Senator Kim's office, and then I can relay it to the resident.
What is the number there?
Oh, our phone number is 808
Mhm.
587 7200.
And who should I direct it to?
You can ask for Kathy.
Kathy.
Yes.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Okay, thank you, Kathy. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. Go ahead.
Lieutenant,
Yes.
from my past experience, the officers are reluctant to tow the vehicles because they have to stick around until the tow wagon comes. Is that correct?
They do. We have to wait for the tow wagon to come, but it's not it doesn't take a long process unless the tow wagons are already off on other things. So at that time of day, it's not that bad. I think what the officer might have been doing, he probably ran the vehicle, found out it was somebody who lives nearby, and felt reluctant to tow it. But I believe that the officers they should be take consideration for the persons whose driveway is being blocked. So I'll speak with the officer about that.
Thank you.
No problem.
I have a last mundane question.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned that there's some, well, I guess, cars that have been stolen.
Yeah.
Is there a certain kind of car that is a vehicle of choice?
It looks like a bunch of for this week's one report at least a bunch of work vans were stolen. And all of them happen to be white, but there wasn't one specific brand. There was a Dodge Durango, a Chevy van. The thing with the work trucks, a lot of times they're so busted up that the guys don't really lock the doors or the doors don't work well because they kind of bust up the vehicles. And that's how the guys get in. And then the work vans, because of the way the interior is set up, it's not very complex. They just crack the column and they can get into the ignition very easily. The three other thefts of the vehicles were motorcycles, 2 motorcycles and 1 electric scooter. So those things are kind of easy to steal. They just gotta crack the ignition.
Thank you very much. It's nice to know. I guess my car is safe. And it's American too. Okay, well, thank you very much, Lieutenant. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, if not, thank you very much.
All right, everyone have a good evening.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you come up here and use the microphone? Thank you. Lieutenant, I'm sorry, we got to get you overtime.
No problem.
Good evening. My name is Willa Donnelly, and I am a resident of this
Hi, ma'am.
community.
Mhm.
And my question has to do with this idea of discretion of the officer.
Yes.
So does that apply to when cars are parked in the stop sign? There's stop on the road and there's a sign. Is that discretion of the officer if you ask them to do something about that? And is it also discretion of the officer if there's a car literally parked in front of the fire hydrant?
Usually the ones in front of the fire hydrant is a no question asked. They usually will tow it. The stop sign one is gonna depend on how close it is to the stop sign and if it encroaches on like an intersection and things like that. But it's gonna depend on the situation. So if you're unhappy with the officer's response, ask for a sergeant, and the sergeant will come down and make an assessment of the situation.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
Okay,
No
thank you
problem.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other questions? Okay, if not, Lieutenant, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a good evening, everyone.
Okay, next on the agenda, Iris. And before Iris gets there, I want to thank Iris for bringing our throat lozenges.
Hi there, everyone. Yes, that's part of what I'll be talking about quickly. So I usually just give the main break report for April. There was one main break on April 12th at an 8-inch main near 2521 Rook Avenue. So that's the one main break in April. And so the general water announcement. So it's summer water conservation tips. The sun is turning up the heat and summer is just around the corner. So it's important to ensure that we're saving every drop of water to keep our community strong and sustainable today and for future generations to come. So some easy tips to save water this summer is water your plants during the morning to reduce evaporation. Take shorter showers. Check for toilet leaks. The culprit is usually a faulty flapper. So that's what this Kanzi is. It's really just a dye tablet you put into your tank, and you don't touch it, and then 15 minutes later or so, you'll see if the water turns blue without anything. That means you have a leak from your tank to your toilet bowl. So if there's some left, if not next month, please come by and I'll have some more next month. So then another suggestion is don't let the faucet run and run. And also apply for Board of Water rebates for water efficient appliances. Oops, I'll pick that up later. Water efficient appliances and systems. So saving water not only helps conserve this precious resource, but it can also lower your water bill. So of course, go to boardofwatersupply.com/7ways to find out a little bit more about what I spoke about and some more other suggestions. And there's a lot of other information on our website, so please go and visit. And if there's any questions?
No, but again, thank you very much for these. I guess they're not true.
They're not to eat, but they are safe, vegetable-based, but yes, it's not meant for eating.
Any questions for Iris? Board, any questions? How about the audience? WebEx, any questions? Thank you again, Iris. Nice seeing you.
All right.
And thanks again. All right, next, resident concerns. I think, I don't know if anybody here with resident, yes, all right, come on up. I know some of us, you have some resident concerns.
And Willa Donnelly.
There we go.
Okay, Willa Donnelly. My concern is related to the notice of public hearing that I received. It's from the Liquor Commission, and it has to do with Natsunoya Tea House requesting a license for liquor, be able to serve liquor, and to also have the ability to have live music and dancing on the premises. And my concern is, this is a residential area. It's not a commercial area. And this is not being a good member of the community if you're looking at your own needs and how to make a profit. And what does the community get out of it? What did the people who live in the neighborhood get out of it? We can't park on the street when the tea house is having their parties because their employees park on the street, and then the overflow from the tea house parking lot, they can only accommodate about 280 cars. But if you can have more than 300 people on premises, it doesn't make any sense. So my concern is it's going to be a safety problem for residents because we have kupuna, we have young families, people walk their animals at all times of the day or night. And like a lot of the other residences, we don't have sidewalks. We have unimproved walkways, and the cars will park on the unimproved walkways unless you're like me and you get out there and ask them to move. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me ask you a question before you leave. We cannot discuss this because it's not on the agenda. But I know, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it on the agenda for next June. And then if the board wants to take action, they can do one, whatever action they want to take. I have a question, but are you, or any other residents going to speak in regards to Natsuno? Are you opposed to the liquor license or, wait, liquor license and the cabaret license? I was on the Honolulu Liquor Commission. Liquor is just to serve liquor. Cabaret means that they're going to have entertainment. Are you opposed to both? Okay, I just want to make sure.
Like a copy of the.
No, I've seen it. Thank you very much. Yeah, okay. Anybody else want to speak on this particular matter? Go ahead.
So I was at the Natsunoya Tea House just 2 days ago. We just had a wedding. So my best friend and my other best friend got married. And from what I see, we had less than 228 people.
I'm sorry, since you're on the board, we can't discuss this.
Oh,
Okay,
I'm
you
so
can
sorry.
wait for. If
Okay.
anything, we just want information
All right.
from the residents, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Wes, Chair,
Yes, go ahead. Who's this?
this is Carol.
Okay, go ahead, Carol.
I just wanted to know when, she said she had a notice of a public hearing. Can she tell us when that is?
Hearing is scheduled for Thursday, June 26th at 4 p.m. at the office of the Licensing Commission, the Liquor License Commission.
Thank you.
Why was there a chuckle?
Just for information, it is right off of Cook Street. And it's on the 6th floor, okay? And my recommendation for all those who may be interested and very concerned about it is to show up at the hearing and make your druthers known. Because being on the Liquor Commission before, we take it very seriously, the concerns of the residents. Thank you. Anybody else? Any other concerns?
Hi, my
What-
name is Rachel. I'm on WebEx. I live at the top of ʻālewa Drive, and I got a notice in the mail that today we would be discussing a project for Kamehameha schools. They're working with Architects Hawaii on a project. Is that still on the agenda today?
Yes, it is. You stick around. We're going to have a presentation by Kamehameha School.
Okay, great, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Any other concerns from the residents?
Yeah.
Don?
You know that easement, did you residents call the police department? Because that is an unimproved sidewalk and you cannot park on an unimproved sidewalk. So if you really want to, you can call police department and tell them that you got a car parking on the easement.
Historically, I have done that. And what I've been told, first of all, by the dispatcher, that's not an emergency. Then I've talked to different police officers, and what I get is, oh, it's a discretion of the police officer. And yet where I'm concerned about, there's a bus stop to get off of the bus. When they get off, they're walking in the middle of the street. So it's not so much, oh, that's what I want. It's concern for my community and their safety.
Yes, I understand that, because the thing is that if you brought it up with the police department this evening, I think you would have gotten an answer, because I know unimproved sidewalks, you cannot park. That's a ticket. And and this thing about the officer's discretion, I really don't understand that. You know what I mean? The discretion to the officer is black and white. Either you're following the law, you're not following the law. And this thing about what he was talking about, police discretion, I'm sorry, but I don't buy that. The police department is supposed to follow the rules and the law. And they should not have their own opinion. And that's what they call discretion.
Donald,
Yeah.
I did bring that up many years ago
Okay.
about parking on the unimproved walkway.
Okay.
And at the time, I think it was I forget, Major somebody, who said, oh, we can't do anything about that because
Okay.
then it's going to affect all your neighbors. And I
Mhm.
said, I don't worry about
No.
the neighbors. It's from point A to point B. That's all I'm asking for,
Yeah.
some sort of sign, some sort of something.
Yeah.
And that was the response. Oh, you're going to cause problems for your neighbors.
Okay.
I'm going to interrupt. I think we got this as an issue and the HPD will take care of it.
I will bring it up in the June meeting
Please.
and I will progress this thing about discretion. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing it up. Appreciate it. Anybody else? Any concerns? Okay, moving right along. Reports of any members, anybody attend any meetings that may be of interest to us? For the board? Okay, moving along. OMPO is. Cora, are you here? No, she isn't. Darren, anything? Okay, let's move on. Okay, at this time, I'd like to introduce representatives from the Kamehameha School who want to tell us a little something about their improvements or renovations they're going to have that may affect our community. So it's all yours. I believe we're going to have, oh, there we go. We have a slideshow. You want to introduce yourself? And if you want, you can introduce your colleagues.
Aloha, everybody. My name is Scott Abrigo. I'm a senior planning and project manager with Kamehameha Schools. I'd like to mahalo Chair Fong for inviting Kamehameha Schools here tonight. Also say aloha to members of the board, members of our audience here tonight, and those that are watching on WebEx. I'm here tonight to discuss project and provide updates to projects relating to maintenance, renovation, and new projects on our Kapalama campus. And with me tonight from Kamehameha Schools, we have Allison Yu. And from our communications, we have Sterling Wong and Melissa Moniz. And then also with us, we have Dan Sullivan and Eric Peoples from our Architects Hawaii firm. And so really tonight is about to provide updates and answer any questions. So I have a short presentation that we prepared for you folks. And at the end, we'd like to open up to any questions you might have. Next slide. To start at the beginning, Kamehameha Schools was established by Princess Bernice Paua'i Bishop. Princess Paua'i's vision was to improve the capability and well-being of Native Hawaiians through education. And so in 1887, she founded the Kamehameha Schools, and she named it after her great-grandfather. Today, her legacy continues through Kamehameha Schools, through our campuses on Oahu, Maui, and Hawaii Island, and our 30 preschools throughout the state. But today, we'll be focusing on our Kapalama campus, which is within the Neighborhood Board number 14 sub-district. Next slide. Our Kapalama campus is a kindergarten to 12th grade campus, and we also have residential halls or dormitories. It's a 95-year-old campus, so we have over 20 projects proposed that will address maintenance, renovation, our aging infrastructure, and revitalizing our spaces and our fields on our campus. Kamehameha Schools plans to include these projects in a conditional use permit minor to Department of Planning and Permitting, and it'll replace an existing and outdated 1992 existing use permit. And so these 20 projects will be part of that application. These projects will be phased over the next 10 to 15 years, and a majority of these projects are maintenance projects, renovation projects, and infrastructure projects. The map you see is a map of our campus. We've used colors to demarcate the type of projects and the location of these projects on our campus. In this presentation, I'll start to take a deeper dive into the different types of projects. Next slide. So we start with our maintenance projects. The maintenance projects are really like for like replacement or repair of systems within a building. So we'll be looking at air conditioning units, we'll be looking at flooring, ceiling, roof, paint, doors, windows, etc. These maintenance projects, I think we have over 10 maintenance projects planned, starting with Kamamalu down at our elementary school at the bottom of the map. And the majority of our maintenance projects are in our high school at the top of the map, starting with Bishop Hall, our performing arts, Kunia Building, Field, and Gateway at the top of our campus, to Kaiva Kilamoku, which is our cultural center, and our dining hall at Akahi. Maintenance projects are a priority for Kamehameha schools because they lengthen the lifespan of a building. They also help with reducing disruptions in these spaces. And then they also increase the efficiency and reliability of these systems that are being replaced and repaired that are serving these spaces. Next slide. Our next project type is renovations. And so renovations is the process of making this space new, bringing it back to life, or converting the existing use to a newer or current use. And so what's different about renovations is that it's much more intense and bigger in scale. And so we have 4 renovation projects that we're planning, starting with Maluna Field. It's a baseball field. We're converting it to a softball field. For Paki, which is one of our main buildings on campus, we want to do pedestrian pathways in the front of the building and little gathering areas for our students. The bottom right, we want to do a pool covering over our bleachers at our pool. And then the top right corner is our PE building, which is outdated vacant building. We want to do a full gut renovation and reuse that space. Renovations are also important because we're able to take back some of these spaces and create new spaces for our students. Next slide. Our new projects. So we have 2 new projects that we're proposing. Our first project is up at our high school on the left. And the program hasn't been finalized for this building, but the site has been determined. So we're planning a building and a parking structure. Our second project is in our elementary and middle school on the bottom right of our campus. And this is where we would demolish and build a new Keamoku gym, field, and parking. And so we're excited about these 2 projects because it'll bring new spaces. It'll make use of available site for the new building, and it would add to our current building stock. Next slide. And then finally, a lot of our projects are infrastructure related. And, our infrastructure is aging. And so as part of our CUP permit, we are putting in for kind of a campus-wide infrastructure project where we would address our roads, our sewers, our electrical and communications, our water system, our pedestrian paths, and our drainage. And we all know that infrastructure is really the backbone of any community. And it's very important that we have the ability to replace, repair our infrastructure as needed. Next slide. And so that's a pretty ambitious list of projects. Please note that we would be doing these projects over the next 10 to 15 years. It is our best, not best guess, but it is our project list as of today. Over time, these project lists may change where we would have to go back to DPP for mods on our conditional use permit. But we feel that these projects would allow us to maintain, repair, and upkeep our campus, as well as provide new and exciting spaces for our students. So mahalo for the opportunity for us to make this presentation. And now me and my team can take any questions that you folks might have. Mahalo nui.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for the presentation. I'm glad that we're renovating and uplifting Kamehameha. One more, actually, it's the one more pragmatic question. There's a lot of construction you're going to have. I think for the residents that live near Kamehameha, they're going to ask the question, what time are you going to start work? What time in the morning and what time are you going to be POW?
So that's a great question. So we typically employ administrative controls where we have construction during normal business hours and avoid early morning and late afternoon hours. We also is an operating school. And so we want to make sure that our drop-offs and pickups in the morning and afternoons aren't negatively impacted by construction also. And so it'll be during normal business hours, primarily in the middle of the day.
You said early hours. What do you mean early hours? 7 o'clock in the morning, 6?
Probably after 7. So I think we start at about 7:30, 7:45. So probably after that initial wave of drop-offs.
Questions, board? Go ahead.
Hi, thank you for coming down and making the presentation in regards to you guys' renovations. I was wondering, and I may have missed this part of the presentation, what is the proposed start date for all the renovations? And then the second part to the question is, what, I guess, impact should the residents be expecting?
So the first question, what is the start date? So we still got to go through the conditional use permit process, and that process could take some time. We currently have some projects in the hopper that we're working with. When we talked to Department of Planning and Permitting about a CUP permit, they wanted us to put everything into that permit. And so we still got to finish some of the projects that are currently funded and in operation, and then get the CUP permit and then start those projects. And so I would imagine we're probably looking at maybe 3 years out until we can start some of these projects. The answer to your second question is what kind of impacts that we see. Naturally, I think the community would be concerned about traffic, noise. In terms of traffic, this is primarily a renovation and maintenance plan. Majority of our projects is maintenance and renovation, and typically those projects do not add additional students or staff, and so no increase in cars on campus, thus affecting off campus. In regards to noise, again, we're an operating school, and loud noise not only impacts our neighbors, but it impacts our students' ability to learn. And so we're very sensitive to noise. We employ a lot of mitigation in terms of noise. Again, engineering controls, looking at newer equipment, looking at battery-operated lawnmowers, battery-operated weed whackers, administrative controls, where we, allow construction during certain times of the day. In terms of construction deliveries and construction traffic, having all of that traffic come up our main gate so we can monitor who's coming on and who's going off the campus, but then also designating the routes that they can take. And so reducing the noise from all over campus to one route. And so we, like the community, is very sensitive to these impacts as we move forward.
Thank you.
Yeah. I noticed you was looking at pedestrian access and things like that, but I live up here in Pu'unui, and your back gate is pretty active during the mornings and stuff like that. I know you guys have the drop off and pickup area down on School Street and
Terminal.
whatever it is, Kapalama anyway. What allows the parents to be using the back gate? You know what I mean? Because that's a lot of traffic that comes out of Camp School going through along Wiley Street right here.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're starting to get smart and they go into the subdivision. I mean, the Pu'unui area in itself to bypass the traffic on Wiley. You know what I mean? During the 7:30-ish to 8 time frame, I mean, it's miserable coming out of my neighborhood.
So that's a great question. And I think the question was, why have that back gate? And it's really a compliance issue. The school requires multiple exits and multiple access points. Puna Gate is open only during pickup and drop-offs. So it's only open during the morning, only open during the afternoon. Then we shut the gate down during the day, and everything comes through our main gate so we can control and make sure our campus is secure. We do have the terminal that you're talking about on School Street, where that's another mode. And then our parents are allowed to drive onto campus and drop their kids off But then we also have a bus. So a lot of our kids come from every area of our island on buses. And so we have a lot of different options for students to get to school. So Puna is one option, but I would say the majority of our traffic comes up our main gate and on our buses, yeah. And so we understand the impacts of Puna Gate onto the community, and so that's why we limit when it's open. And it's primarily only during the morning and only during the afternoon, and then we close it.
Can other mechanisms be put in place, another back gate somewhere for compliance? Because you guys doing major renovation, you guys taking over the whole hill up there. Oh, which is good anyway.
Well, we can look at other alternatives. Right now, Puna Gate is one of our alternatives that we use. It is our back door, but we can look into it. Wow.
I have another question.
Yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead.
So regarding the back gates, so the school buses, I usually normally take the number 10 on the hills going to ʻālewa, Judd, and one of my bus driver friends would tell me, oh, they would have to honk during the daytime because of big school buses coming around that edge of that curving corner. Do you guys have any answer to solve those problems? Because usually, like one of my bus driver friends that drives the 10 would honk because they don't want to cause an accidents to your school buses. So that's my question.
Yeah, and that's a great question. And we don't have our operations group here today. I know the majority of our buses go up and down our main gate. But my daughter is a student there and they've gone out Puna when something's wrong at the main gate. And so there is incidences of buses going down that area. I think we all just got to be safe on that area. And I know the roads are really narrow going through. But you know, our bus drivers are safe and they're carrying kids with them. And so just drive safe as you kind of make your way through. But we do want to employ our main gate.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Yeah, go ahead, Donald.
I'm talking about the bus terminal on Kapalama. When are you guys going to start improving that place? Because right now, in the morning, you folks have occupant. You folks just like own Kapalama Avenue. In the afternoon, you just like own. You know, this is a public road, and I don't know how you guys own that road. And the question is, you make a lot of improvement. When are you going to improve the bus terminal? You know, you close on the bowling alley and you sell the property to Walgreens. You folks could have made that place big for your bus terminal, but you folks never. You folks look at money. So when are you guys going to look at the bus terminal? Because it interrupts the public. You know, because I've been here, I live in this area all my life on Kapalama Avenue. And always your buses clutter up our streets. Your buses ruin our streets. You know, so the question is, when you guys gonna start looking at the bus terminal rather than all this improvement you wanna do it on the heights? So when?
So that's a great question. And really the purpose of the bus terminal is to really take traffic off of road, reduce the number of parents going up to campus to drop off their kids, that there's an alternate. And so parents are allowed to drop their kids off at the terminal, they get on the bus and then they shoot them up. And so it is an alternate form and it serves primarily this area and the Honolulu area or town. And so it's a matter of convenience. In terms of when we would improve it, you know, it's operating as it should be.
No.
But in regards to any impacts to the community, I think we can look at that. You know, typically parents stop, drop their kids off, and then they leave. But I could see, you know, cars queuing at some point as it starts to back up. So we can look into that.
Yeah, because you know when you're saying about drop off, but when you get 15 people, cars waiting to drop off the kids. They're blocking off Kapalama Avenue and also Hala Drive. And the question is, this has been going on so long. I mean, this is not recently, and this is not, and this thing about improvement, you folks have never improved your bus terminal.
Yeah.
Because it's always the same thing. There's no improvement in your bus terminal. There's no improvement in the scheduling of the parents coming up to pick up the kids. And the one he was talking about, the bus terminal, I see one of your buses at 7:30 going up Kapalama Avenue, going to Kunia and whatever. You know how narrow that road is? And the question is, why? You keep on saying, oh yeah, we're using the main terminal. You folks are not using the main terminal. You folks have alternates, like the one in the middle of Apuni Street. You folks suggested a four-way stop sign. Now you guys got a four-way stop sign.
Donald, I'm going to interrupt. Okay, I think you got the point, and that's an issue that I think that you can address. Well, maybe with your renovations.
Yep.
Okay.
We'll definitely take that back and.
Yeah,
take a look.
and
Yeah.
he's been a long time resident, so he knows.
Yep.
So take that into consideration. Henry, you had another?
I mean, I don't know if you guys can give the statistics on how many drop-offs versus how many are bussed in, you know what I mean? And how many parents drive on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And look at that.
Yeah, I don't have that information with me. We can definitely get that information and then email it to the chair. You folks can look at it.
Okay, Chance?
I was wondering if you guys, as you guys kind of solidify a date for the start time of the renovations, if you guys would be willing to possibly keep us in mind to do another presentation.
We will definitely send updates to the board. We communicate with our families, with our alumni, with our AHANA. And so we could definitely pass that communications on to the board. We are very sensitive to what we do on campus and how it affects our ability to teach our students. And so a lot of these projects, before they start, we do provide ample notice.
Let me just say as chair, I really want to invite Kamehameha schools to come back and keep us informed as what's transpiring. In 3 years, I don't know if all of us are going to be around, but at least by that time, we'll know what's happening. And our concern is actually the residents who live around Kamehameha. And we were really happy that we are getting renovations and, improving the campus. It has a big and good reputation. So, but again, there's some of these issues I think that, you may not have been aware of. Now you do.
Yep.
And hopefully you can take care of them.
And we want to be a good neighbor to our neighbors and be a model citizen within this community. And so we thank you for that opportunity.
Well, we appreciate that and I appreciate you coming, but keep us informed.
Okay.
And we're going to look forward to bigger and better things in the Kamehameha. All right.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? From the WebEx? No.
Yes, hello, Chairman Fong. This is Sue Eberhardt.
Yes, go ahead, Sue.
Yes, my question to the gentleman is, where are all the items that during the renovations, where are they going to be discarded?
During the our items that would be taken out would probably
Yes.
be at landfills or normal discarding areas, I would assume.
Yes, I know. I'm very, very aware of the discarding areas. It's called the maintenance yard by the Puna gate. And let me just play you the noise that we hear on a daily basis from that maintenance yard.
No, so any material from our
before-
renovations
yes.
would probably be taken off our campus and not to the maintenance yard. The maintenance yard is
Well,
where
we hope so.
put our machinery or equipment, but it's not a dumping area. And so
It's not?
any renovation
Well-
materials would be hauled off our campus. Yeah.
I have lived by the Puna Gate, and my neighbors and I, we've been working with Representative Jenna Takanuchi and Councilman Dos Santos's office and to meet with Kamehameha and ask them to mitigate any noise, noise pollution, dust pollution, air pollution, anything to the fact. But when you are saying that Kamehameha wants to be a good neighbor, we have not seen that for the past 5 years. The noise, I've seen treadmills being dumped there. I've seen so many of the different yard clippings and everything dumped in that area, smashed from 7 in the morning to any hours of the day. So if you are saying that Kamehameha is going to be a good neighbor during these renovations, when on a daily basis, your maintenance yard is there, it's a constant construction site that we live next to. The decibel levels go over it, and this is a residential use. So I'm very, very confused with your presentation and what we see on a daily basis. My neighbors and I, we are not happy with Kamehameha's work that they do at the maintenance pit at all.
Okay, can I ask you a question, Sue? Specifically is this maintenance pit so they can, allege maintenance pit so they can double check on it? It's near the Puna.
Well, it's not an
Puna Gate?
alleged, sir. It's by the Puna Gate, and Representative Takanuchi, she knows exactly where it is. When she was running again for her seat, I actually showed her, and she was witness there when the treadmills were being smashed. We have our other neighbors that signed a petition asking them to move the maintenance pit. I mean, if you're talking about being a good neighbor and also wanting the children to be able to study, I mean, the dormitories there, I mean, it's just the proximity. It's the way that the gully, the pit is shaped. Any kind of noise, it just resonates out.
Sue,
We
I
hear
think-
music from everywhere.
Sue, I'm going to cut you off. I think we understand. I just want to know to pinpoint the location so they can go and investigate it. Do you know where that area is?
We can look into it. I know where the maintenance yard is, and we can look at what exactly we're doing at the maintenance yard that could be,
Let me ask you this question, it was sort of a general question. If there are any concerns by the residents in regards to Kamehameha School, what number should they call? And not HPD, I know.
it would be calling our operations, our campus operations.
Do you have a number?
I don't have the number on me, but we can definitely email that number to
Okay,
you.
give me the number and I'll pass it on to
Okay.
who is,
Yeah.
for any concerns of residents.
Yes. We'll definitely get that to you via email.
Okay. Anybody else from the board or WebEx? Thank you, Sue. Audience? Yes, back there. Come on up. Lloyd, come on up, please.
Thank you. My question today, thank you for the presentation. I'm a resident here in the Liliha area. I went to McKinley, so I never went to Kamehameha, but my two sons are a beneficiary of the Kelly's gift. So thank you very much. But my question for today's presentation was that you mentioned the need for a lot of these projects is from the city conditional use permit, but I don't understand I guess the nexus or the connection. Specifically, what needs to change on campus for the operation that would qualify for this permit, or whether this permit even applies at all? Because as you stated in the beginning of the presentation, the school started in 1887. City and County of Honolulu only started in 1907. So to me, it's has its rightful place at the education of a school up here on campus already. And I understand the concern of a lot of the residents over here, but I think if we work together, there may be other good solutions that can come out of it. But for now, just wondering, what are the needs that specifically triggers these additional projects? I'm sure some of those projects are just regular maintenance, but city and county, they should have no concern about how Kamehameha do their maintenance. So, would appreciate it.
So the question was about our CUP application and the need. So I'll bring our architect, Dan Sullivan, to help answer this question in regards to the actual CUP application.
Actually, this request was by DPP to submit to go through the CUP process because we've been working on minor modifications to a CUP or there was, I think, from 1992. So we're really conforming to what DEPP is requiring. And the submittal process they're asking for every possible project that could be implemented on the campus. So we're really conforming to the requirements as requested.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Good evening, board members. Raskadoka. I'm a resident of ʻālewa. Sue and a couple of other neighbors are also here with regards to the projects. I know she was bringing up the noise and you guys said you do administrative controls. I understand that. Engineering controls, I don't feel you guys are doing anything with that. The maintenance yard, we met with Representative Jenna and maybe three other members from Kamehameha schools last year. They were talking about the fence that's bordering Puna Gate. That was last year. They've only done maybe 40, 50 meters of the fence from Puna Gate so far. There is a fence that butts up against our hollow tile wall and California grass grows there. There's no way for us to trim it. All the seeds go into our yards. The grass just grows. We always have to weed. As far as the noise, engineering controls, you guys, there's no engineering controls. There's some vegetation, trees, banana trees, but that does not block any of the noise from the maintenance yard. And like she was saying, you guys do dump stuff there. Like you dump stuff there before it gets hauled out to any other trash site. We've had jackhammers, rocks getting crushed over there, metal being dumped, appliances, everything. And that noise, just like she said, it because of the shape of the valley, it just projects everywhere. And last year I had brought up a suggestion for engineering controls as far as building as something as small as just erecting a wall to block the noise from hitting the residents of ʻālewa, or better yet would be just a complete maintenance, like a maintenance facility building. But we haven't seen anything from the school. Also, another thing that I can hear in the mornings or during school hours is all of the announcements and chimes from the school. It's really loud. I don't understand how the kids don't, it sounds loud to me at my house. And I can only imagine the students at the school with the speakers blasting. I don't understand why it has to be that loud. And then another thing is.
Excuse me, I'm gonna cut you off. The only reason why is because the presentation this evening is they're gonna do renovations and maintenance. Now, I know I've heard a lot of concerns about what's happening outside of that. So if need be, I'll put that on the agenda and we can invite them back and then let them address it. Is that okay?
Yeah, but this does have to do with maintenance. That yard is just going to be used more and more.
Yeah, I think
it's already overused and overloaded as it is.
we understand that. So I'm going to put it on the agenda and make it specifically, if any concerns about, I'm thinking it's calling maintenance and dumping and noise, et cetera. And I'll put that on, is it okay if I put that on the agenda and Kamehameha comes back and addresses those issues? Yeah, because this is over and above what you just presented. Is that okay? Okay, is it okay with you?
Sure.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody else? Yes.
Yeah, my name is Robert, and I think the reason why we are here and to hearing this project going on, it's good. Unfortunately, we know there's going to be noise, and then that's what we are afraid of. We hear, they don't even have construction going on, and we hear all this noise now. So, hearing this construction planning, it only makes us more afraid. Yeah, so I just have to say. And then, by the way, the Puna Gate closes at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Robert, you're okay if we bring them back and then we can have your concerns addressed by them? Is that okay?
That's okay.
As good neighbors, quote unquote?
I just have to get my 2 cents.
I know that. Thanks a lot, Robert. Thank you. You didn't realize what you were bargaining for when you gave your presentation, huh? Well, anyway, you heard the concerns of our nurse. I don't want to prolong this, but if it's okay with you and your colleagues, I'll put it on the agenda and invite you back. This is over and above the renovations and maintenance that you can do in 3 years. I think what we're hearing is the concerns of your neighbors. So if it's okay with you, I'll put in the agenda. Who should I contact?
Crystal Poole, who's been our point of contact with you and the board.
Okay, she's going to be surprised, isn't she?
We'll definitely take it back and we'll have discussions around this.
Well, you just, give her a heads up.
Yes.
Okay, and I think I have her address. Yeah, I think I have her email
On
address.
email.
But what you could do is do me a favor, before you leave, put her name down and put her telephone number and I'll contact her directly on behalf of the board and our residents.
Will do.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Thank you. All right, how about,
Hello, everybody. Thank
Thank
you
you.
again.
how about a big round of hands of applause for the Kamehameha School? Thank you. All I can say, I wish I had the Hawaiian blood of saving tuition. But anyway, thank you. And thank you for all of you from Kamehameha School for coming. Appreciate it. Okay, moving right along. Mayor's representative, Ed.
Hello and good evening. Edward Los Banos, Mayor's Rep for Neighborhood Board number 14. First up, some highlights from the Mayor's newsletter. You can find the newsletter at honolulu.gov/mayor/newsletter. First up is the Guardians ad litem to help with assisted community treatment for Oahu's homeless community. What this program does, it provides a court-appointed guardian for folks that suffer from mental illnesses and may not be able to be aware of it. It helps them gain access to long-lasting injectables to help normalize their behaviors. But we only have 2 on the island. The goal was to try and get more because of there's population that needs it. Also, Mayor signs the bill for the Waikiki Street Festivals and outdoor dining rules. For Waikiki Street Festivals, it decreases the activity from Waikiki from 12 events a year to 6 events a year. So we'll see a big decline there and make things better for residents as well as visitors. Recreational fishing returns to Ho'omaluhia Botanical Gardens. That happens on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and you can create a reservation online at the Ho'omaluhia Botanical Garden website. Other than that, we have neighborhood board elections. Those are wrapping up this Friday. So if you haven't voted, please go ahead and vote to get your neighborhood board leaders. And then finally, for announcements, we have the Summer Fun registration that is now open, May 12th to 16th. And enrichment classes will start registration on Thursday. It's a great way for anybody with young kids and teens to have organized childcare over the summer months. In terms of updates, what I have for you. Chair Fong, the utility poles, I'm not sure if that's still an issue. We did follow up with HECO. HECO is in the process of removing the old poles up there. Our Department of Design Construction did reach out to them. Now, if there's any problematic poles up there, you can go ahead and contact HECO at specific addresses, and they can make sure it's on their priority list. Right now, they're just prioritizing areas where the poles are suspect, and that they're taking care of that. But if there's any poles that you want to flag, you can go ahead and contact HECO and with a specific address or pole number, and then they'll take care of that. But ordinarily, once all the utilities are transferred from the pole, they go ahead and take that down. but they are starting from the bottom up unless there's a priority pole or some kind of damaged pole on them. For the Nuuanu Stream Bridge bait homeless, I do have the update from Liana here about, inquiring with the Community Policing Division on what they did find. Otherwise, I just have an update to say that it was done and all debris has been removed from the area and the homeless have voluntarily left the area. But I do have the update for next month that we'll follow up on the community policing team on what they found down there. There's also a request for an additional town hall. We did cut it down from 11 to town halls that we did in 2023 to 7 this year. So far, they've been doing good. They've been running 2 hours. Folks, we show up early. We can answer as many questions as we can. We stay late afterwards to answer as many questions as we can. So far, I've been to 4 of the 5 that we've done so far, and we haven't had a lot of questions. We've had folks come up and even answer questions, ask questions, approach the microphone like 3-4 times. So I think, anybody interested in getting a question out there, we bring the whole team. We spend a lot of time doing these things. You come out to next one, I think, is coming up at Radford next Thursday. I have some updates for you on certain intersections. First one, the crosswalk painting at Nuuanu and Bates Street. So right now, based on the multi-lane configuration of Nuuanu Avenue, the city and federal street standards require something like a median or rapid flashing beacon or something of that nature to make it a safe crosswalk. The city is currently exploring quick build solutions, as they mentioned last time, to restore the crosswalk. In the meantime, one option they're considering is to convert one lane in the Maka direction to a left turn only lane at 8th Street, which would allow for a pedestrian refuge island to be installed in the Maka area. City is also considering a solar powered rapid flashing beacon to be installed in this location that would work with the tree canopy shade. These improvements would be pending available funds. Relative to the 4-way stop at Kapalama Avenue and Hala Drive.
Oh, wait, Ed, before you go. So right now, then, there's really nothing planned for the Nuuanu Bay Street crosswalk. Still in the planning stage?
Correct. Still in the planning stage is what they reported. I think for all these traffic items, what went out to the departments was an update. I think for next month, I'd like to refine the request so it's a when date. I mean, a when.
Yeah, we'd like to know when.
Yes.
So basically, then I'll leave it on the agenda, installation of the painted crosswalk at Nuuanu and Bates, and hopefully we'll have a start date for the next meeting. You heard that, Liana? I know. Wait another month, Liana. All right. Okay, what's the next one?
Next one is intersection at Hala and Kapalama. So this one is the final design has not been completed for the intersection. They are planning to make it an always stop. But once the design is done, the official letter will come to the neighborhood board and the council member. And then we'll also have to publish a newspaper notice to motorists about the intersection modification. Again, like I mentioned, I know the board's looking for a when, not a what. So, I mean, the responses I got this month is a what. Next month, I want to come back. We're going to try and approach them and get a
So
when.
you think we can get a win by the next meeting, or at least as close as possible?
I will terrorize them.
Donald's waiting with bated breath. He's been asking this for the last 5 years. So we want to get him, get him tamed a little. Okay, he'll be here. So anyway, I'll leave it on the agenda, but we like to have a win, okay?
Yep.
I hate to be facetious, but I'm kind of tired of saying it's still in the planning stage. Okay, thanks, Sid. I know it's not you.
The Alania traffic study. So the traffic study was completed in the vicinity of Lanakila Elementary School. The traffic engineers didn't note anything that wouldn't be unusual for a school area in terms of traffic congestion in the area. They noted that all the traffic and congestion, the major congestion happened and cleared, right after the morning school and afternoon rush hours. They did put in work orders, the traffic engineers did to the Department of Facilities Maintenance to replace and refresh the school cross warning signs with new fluorescent ones that are installed in road. So you have an in-road feature, not just the ones on in the sidewalk. Also, replace no parking and speed limit signs in the area.
Thank you for the update, Edward. It was about 3 months coming, but I'm happy that we have an update. But I did want to ask if I understand that they addressed congestion in the area, but did anything come up in regards to safety from that report?
In terms of safety, based on their observation, they didn't, I guess during the observation period, and they didn't indicate what period they did the observations on or what dates, what times. But they didn't observe anything. They did report that as far as pedestrian safety, as well as vehicular safety.
With that in mind, if you don't mind, Chance, I'm going to take it off the agenda unless you're going to push the issue. Okay, if it's something comes up, we'll push the issue again. But thank you, Var.
Thank you.
Is that it?
Yes, I'm available for questions.
Any questions? Yes, go ahead, Darren.
Ed, thank you for the updates. And we appreciate knowing the when, but I have two questions for you. One is, can you tell us where this will be, especially the new on stream near Bate Street, where it will be on the priority list versus when it will be on the funding priority? There's really two different lists. So if you can tell us that also, allocation of funds tells you when it's really going to happen. And so we want to know if it's going to be this year or 2 years, 3 years down the road. So again, funding priority versus a priority list. Thank you.
Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah, if can.
Okay, thanks. Any other questions from the board? How about from the audience? How about from Wedebex? If not, there's somebody over here? Where? Who?
Carol. Carol
Oh.
has a question.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh, hi, Carol. Go ahead.
Hi. I had written out some things and turned them in earlier, but I missed one, and that is the street sensors at Hala Drive and Kamehameha Shopping Center again are not functioning. And then the other ones I gave to Camila.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Carol. Anybody else? Okay. Not all. Thanks, Ed. We'll move right along. Council Member DeSantos. Pam. Anybody representing Council Member Tam? Where?
I'm here for the council member.
And who are you?
I'm Jack Rizzo. I just wanted to, can you hear me? Just wanted to make sure it's
Yeah,
getting
we
through.
can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Yeah, so I'm the council member's research director. There isn't to Liliha-ʻālewa Elementary.
Hi, Jack. Sorry to interrupt. Jack, do you mind just turning off your camera? The connection from your side is kind of slow. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. Recently we did celebrate the 100th anniversary of Liliha-ʻālewa Elementary. We have some exciting bills underway with respect to sewer fees. Rates are going to be changing in the coming years, and hopefully making it a little bit more fair to people who are not using as much water as some of the highest consumers, who will pay more. Then we also have Resolution 25-105, which will help us boost apartment construction, and hopefully in zones where it's the zoning is pretty restrictive right now. So we're hopefully gonna be able to modernize and expand some of these zoning rules and sort of ease the housing crisis in the coming years. Otherwise, we are hopefully drawing near on the budget process. We had a budget committee hearing today and made some progress with that. And so the council member, as chair of the budget committee, has been able to sort of make sure that our tax dollars are being well spent and hopefully getting some more projects in for the district. And yeah, I would welcome any questions and concerns that I can pass along.
Any questions? Henry?
Yeah, hi. Donald brought maybe 5 months ago about Judge Street. I was wondering how's that project coming along?
Can you say again? Hello? Have we lost him?
Can you hear me?
Hi, Jack. Sorry, do you mind repeating that again? I think it's the connection from your side.
Okay. Can you okay?
Yeah, you can try again. Let's see.
Oh, I just wanted to see if there was any. I should know, and I can look into it.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the agenda for next meeting under Councilmember Tam, then he can brief us what's happening on Judge Street.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. Any other
Sounds
questions?
good.
Any other questions? Board? Audience? WebEx? Yes, come on, Robert. Well, yeah,
Yes, I have a question.
yeah, go ahead.
Yes, hi, this is Sue Eberhardt. I was wondering about the water. That bill to actually help people who don't use water and conserve water and as maybe a 2-family, 3-family, that bill is that sounds like a great idea. But on the other spectrum, you should also charge a lot more for people that pass a certain amount of water, because that's very, very indicative of a monster home. And there are several monster homes in ʻAlewa that in one shape or form, if permitting can't help, if the DPP will not go in and verify, at least they should pay their fair share in the water bills.
Okay, I think it's well noted.
And Chair, I'm here, by the way, and would be happy to talk about Judge Street as well as Sue's latest point.
That's fine.
Okay,
Robert?
so with regard
Yeah,
to Judge Street.
Oh, hi, Tyler.
Oh, hello. Yeah. So with regard to Judge Street, this is an ongoing issue. The latest problem that they've been encountering is just there's a number of private properties that part of which you would need easements over, and getting easements over 40 plus properties is definitely a challenge. However, as Jack mentioned, we're going through the budget process and we've added $75,000 into the budget to hopefully get that process started and underway. I, having been a board member on the Liliha board for 6 years, I know how important this is for the community. So we're trying to work through all of these issues. It's not going to happen overnight, but that is underway, and I haven't forgotten about that. With regard to Sue's idea, yes, we've got looking at how we can do this for users of, say, more than 20,000 gallons, which is a very high amount per month. So maybe after the 20,000th gallon, the per gallon price goes up just a little bit more. So that's definitely something we're trying to do. I'll also make one more mention. On Wednesday, we have the full city council meeting We're also taking up Resolution 25-135. This is to initiate foreclosure proceedings on 2154 ʻālewa Street, which is a home that's been illegally operating as a short-term rental for at least 5 or 6 years. And they've accrued over $900,000 in provable fines. I think they've been assessed something like $6 million in fines. And the city council is close to approving foreclosure proceedings to at least get the, take the property back if they're not willing to pay their fines and to stop operating it as an illegal short-term rental.
That's good. Thank you very much, Councilmember. Actually, I'm a little surprised that the Lee Street resident didn't come onto our agenda. Somebody asked me about it. I think a news reporter. I said, we never heard about that. But you guys are taking action. That's good. Robert, I believe you had a question.
Yeah. Again, my name is Robert, and I have a question for Councilmember Tam. Is there any movement or any information on the parcel up at Napueho Park? The bottom section that they're gonna.
Yeah. Hey, Robert, it's good to see you. I don't have any further information. I know Dr. Caldwell has been doing a kind of a garden there for a while, and it seems to be working. I don't have any information, but I will check with the Parks Department about what's going on with that.
That would be great. Thank you.
Councilmember, what I'm going to do is, since I live
Sure.
up there, I don't know what we're going to do with that area. I'm going to put it on the agenda. If you can let us know. I think a lot of the residents up there like to know. It's a vacant area, but just going to sit there like a sore thumb. So again, thanks. Any other questions
Chair?
for the board? From the
Chair?
board?
Chair?
Yes.
I'm online. This is
Oh.
Carol.
Hi, Carol. Go ahead.
Hi, Tyler. Just wanted to, I turned in the slip about it, but check up on the hole in the ground at the corner of.
Yes.
You see, I don't even need to tell you where.
Yes.
Alani and
Pohaku?
not Pohaku. It's next to it. But
Aupuni.
yes, Aupuni, correct. Yes. So just went by it the other day and saw that it's still a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
Any ideas when that's going to get at least not fixed, but at least not made safe?
Yes. So just for the public's edification, this has been a big puka in the ground. Part of the problem is those roads are technically privately owned, and there's some confusion as to whether when the city paved it, the acquired the easement over exactly where that hole is from the private landowner. Let me check back. I know that Corporation Counsel was working on that research. And let me check back with them on that. I know it's a big issue for the Kamehameha Heights community.
Yeah, it's just really dangerous to have, a 4 foot, 5 foot hole in the ground.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Carol, again, where's this location?
It's on Alani and Alaneo. Is that correct? Did I get the right?
Aupuni.
Aupuni. Okay.
So lower Kamehameha Heights.
So Alani and Aupuni and big hole in the ground, right?
Yeah, it's like a drainage, like a sewer drainage where the top has collapsed. And so it's just goes straight into the bottom.
Okay, I'll put that on the agenda and leave it under Councilmember Tam's.
Yeah, and I
bailiwick.
had a slip with earlier today. So
Okay, thanks, Carol. Anybody else? Okay, Councilmember Tam, thank you very much, and thank you for taking care of our concerns.
Sorry, Chair, there's one more resident.
One more
Online.
online. Who do we have?
Brett and Sue. Brett and Sue, did you have a question?
Hello? Somebody else online?
No, sorry. It was actually it was a mistake.
Okay, thank you. Okay, if not, let's move on. How about Senator Kim's office? Sorry.
How about Senator Rhodes?
Strike that. Senator Rhodes first. Senator Rhodes.
Okay.
Hey, Chair,
problem.
members of the board, Glenn Yan from Senator Rhodes' office. We submitted our report. It's just a bunch of bills that Carl introduced this session and actually passed through the legislature. So if you have any questions on that, you can just let me know. And any other questions regarding anything else, just let me know.
Actually, I want to thank Senator because on Senate Bill number 404, I assume he introduced this, and I'll read it to you. This bill allows the neighborhood boards to discuss and receive information on third-party reports from governmental officials, even if the report isn't on the public agenda. To save us a lot of time. If the board wants to make a decision on issues raised in the third-party report, it must give notice and do so at a later date. So that's good. And I thank the senator for that.
I will pass that on.
Anybody else? Any questions or concerns? All right, moving right along. Senator Kim's office.
Chair Fong, Kathy Nee here, representing Senator Kim's office. Senator Kim is sorry she couldn't be here today. She is returning from a conference in DC. However, her May 2025 neighborhood report was digitally sent to you earlier today. To deliver the neighborhood report or highlights from it is going to be a staff member. Her name is Savannah Koule, and she is our committee clerk. So she was a little busy during session, but you may see her at future neighborhood boards. So Savannah.
Everyone. It's really nice to be speaking with you, and I look forward to attending meetings in the future. I wanted to quickly provide some legislative highlights from Senator Kim's office. So the 2025 legislative session concluded on May 2nd with over 200 bills being passed, several of which have been signed into law by the governor. We're happy to share that among these was one of Senator Kim's introduced bills, SB 1252, to enhance Alzheimer's and dementia care in the state by establishing a specialized community-based training program through the John A. Burns School of Medicine. And then we're also excited to announce the release of $1.7 million in capital improvement funds to Maluhia State Facility to renovate restrooms to be fully ADA compliant and to construct a permanent roof over their sun deck. So with that, I don't have anything else, but if anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask Kathy or me and send our office an email, and we'll be sure to follow up as quickly as we can. Thank you.
I have a question. I don't know if you can answer this, but maybe I should ask our representative Tanucci. There was a nepotism bill that was introduced into by the Senate. They passed it on the committee, but the House rejected it. The nepotism bill, which pretty much prohibits any legislature from hiring or employing a relative. And yet, you know why the House nixed it? I mean, they're getting a raise. What are they worth? No, I'm being facetious. Go ahead.
So actually the House, their Office of Legislative, and I'm so sorry, I can't remember the exact committee name, but one committee did hear it. The committee that didn't hear it was the Judicial and Hawaiian Affairs Committee. And I am not able to give you the reason for why they chose not to hear the bill. But
So if
one
they don't
committee
hear
from
it-
the House side did hear it. Yes.
So if you don't hear it, it dies.
It has to go through because it was jointly referred to, I believe, the Office of Legislative, and I'm so sorry, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but the Office of Legislative Procedures, I believe, and the Judicial and Hawaiian Affairs committees. And so it needed to be heard by both, but it got heard by one and it didn't get heard by the other. So that's why the bill did not pass.
Well, I want to thank Lisa Senate for doing that. It was actually initiated by our office at the Hawaii State Ethics Commission. I'll ask our representative. Maybe she'll know.
Thank you, Chair.
Wait.
Oh, yeah.
Any other questions for Senator Kim's office? Okay, if not, thank you very much.
Thank you for your time, Chair. Have a good evening.
Yeah. Okay, Representative Takenuchi.
I voted for your bill on the floor, Chair.
Go ahead.
Okay. Did you want follow-up about that at all? I can try and ask the chair of the Judiciary and Hawaiian Affairs.
Yeah, I mean, what's What's good for the goose has got to be good for the gander, right? I mean, the Senate says, yeah, we shouldn't be hiring our relatives.
I'll see if I can find any information.
Yeah, so I'm just curious.
Concerns they had with the bill that maybe we can look at for next year.
And what I was going to do, because we're having a meeting pretty soon for our Ethics Commission, is I'm going to ask, even though the House has said we can, take care of our own people, I'm wondering does the Hawaii State Ethics Commission still have jurisdiction over the legislators if they do violate this law? Or is it exclusively for under the jurisdiction of the House?
I mean, there is no law, but I can ask Chair Charnes, because I know he's a big supporter of both the Ethics Commission and campaign spending commissions.
Good.
If he has specific concerns, I can let him know maybe the board is interested in seeing what they might be able to do to tweak the language to make it more palatable for
And
next year.
I'll be more than happy to invite them to this Ethics Commission meeting on the chair.
I'll let him know if you're interested
Okay,
in talking about that bill.
thank you.
Okay, hey, I do have, good news about the Nu'uanu Stream Bridge at Po'oa and Bates. I think they actually did do a small sweep actually of the Liliha-ʻālewa Botanical Garden homeless encampment with that together finally. I'm not sure if I haven't gotten any other reports that anybody's back in there, that we need to go back there unless the board has any updates on that. I think maybe we can take it off and maybe put it back on if it comes up again. They were able to go out once and I haven't heard anything since then from community that people went back yet. Okay, great news. But all is happy if it does start becoming a problem again, happy to continue to follow up on that. As one of the speakers mentioned, we just finished the legislative session. Sorry, I forgot to have Kelton pull me these numbers, but just a couple of our organizations in our area that did get funding from the state through the grant and aid process. The Lanakila Multipurpose Senior Center did get $150,000 to help with operations to support their work. I think also Lanakila Pacific got $500,000 to help upgrade their aging AC unit that's in the kitchen to make sure all the kitchen operations can continue going. And I think Rehab Hospital also got something. They were trying to replace a bunch of their the beds, the special beds, that kind of get people up and down. So they all got kind of funding from the state for those initiatives. Just want to share two quick state programs. If anybody knows any young people in need of something to do this summer, the Department of Labor and Industrial Relations is opening their Summer Youth Employment Program. This is for students between ages 16 and 18, as long as they have a high school ID and a 2.0 GPA, they can take part in this internship program. They can get work experience through some of our state departments and get some experience, learn some financial literacy skills, and kind of prepare them for college or career. Enrollment is first come, first serve. The program itself runs June 2nd to August 14th, and we pay them $18 an hour for up to $40 an hour a week. Hours will be Monday through Friday, 7:45 to 4:30, kind of state hours. If anybody's interested, there is a phone number you can call, 808-587-3000. Or there's an email address, which is dlir.wdd.intern, INTERN, at hawaii.gov. It's kind of a nice program, gets kids interested in their, sorry, I thought Kelton had a website. It's probably on the DLIR website as well to kind of get more information about that. Or you can connect them with my office if anyone just needs the link sent to them. That's kind of all we had from the office. If anyone has any questions, I think it's been kind of a long night, but happy to take anything back to the office.
Any questions from the board? Anybody from the audience? How about WebEx? Not represented. Thank you very much. If you can find out, why.
I'll follow up.
Okay, thanks. All right, moving right along, Representative Daniel Holt's office, anybody? Representative Hussey, I don't know. He said he's going to be on
I'm on,
WebEx. Are you there?
I'm on the WebEx chair.
Hey, hi. Hi.
Hey,
Okay.
good evening. Good evening, everybody. So let's see. In addition to everything that all of the other state speakers have spoken about, I would like to highlight one bill which I'm really glad didn't pass, which would provide for sports betting, sports gambling on mobile devices, on internet connected devices, and I'm really glad that bill in particular didn't move forward this session. I think it would be very detrimental for our communities for gambling of that sort to be just readily available to anyone with an internet connected device. So that's kind of my big takeaway from this session is, there's a lot of additional work that we need to do on the budget. So I'm really glad that Representative Takenouchi is playing a key role as a vice chair of finance committee. We will probably have to come back for a special session sometime this summer or fall to look at the impacts of the federal budget cuts and figure out how we as a state are going to deal and contend with those cuts. So yeah, that's kind of my report, and happy to answer any questions that you, Chair, have or anyone else has for me.
Any questions from the board, the audience? Just one note, Representative, I guess Hawaii is holding true to form along with Utah. You know that Hawaii and Utah are the only two states that do not have any form of gambling. So, yeah. So something, I think that maybe Hawaiians and Mormons just don't gamble. Huh? No.
I think we certainly do, but I think we understand that that it's very detrimental for our broader community.
Well, yeah, I'm kind of glad. Anyway, thank you very much. Any questions, comments? All right, moving right along. Do we have a representative from the governor's office? How about from Ed Case's office? Okay, with that, I need a motion or any corrections to the minutes of April 14, 2025. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of April 14, 2025. Moved by Darren, seconded by Donald. Discussion? If not, all in favor, raise your right hand. Any opposed? Okay. Motion is carried. All right, on the new business, this came out and it was actually a mayor's directive. Well, I know it wasn't a directive, it was more for information. The Department of Parks and Recreation for the city is asking if any parks within our jurisdiction would like to allow dogs on leashes. The only two that right now in our area are Napoya Park up in the top of ʻālewa Heights, and one more. ʻālewa. So I'm looking at all of the representatives from our sub-districts. Anybody want to push any of your parks to have dogs on leashes? Go ahead.
Yes, I think we should have dog on leashes as well in the dog parks, especially any public areas, due to the fact of we have kupunas, we have keikis, especially those who are scared of,
Sorry, any particular park that you're talking about we're only talking about city parks.
Lanakila District Park, sir.
Which one?
Lanakila District Park.
Lanakila District Park. Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead. Why?
I think there might be a room for a dog park there, but I would say we can have a dog park there, but I don't see a problem with that.
Anybody want to comment on Lanakila District Park being a unleashed dog park?
Lana District Park is a baseball field. It's not a park where you can sit down on a bench and you can, because the other side on that is the basketball court.
Right,
And-
right.
And that's it. So the thing is that when you talk about a park, technically it's a ballpark. Okay? You can run your dog in there, but it's a ballpark. It's not a park.
Oh, okay, okay. So the whole area is a baseball. Okay, I see. I totally agree.
Mainly it's a baseball park.
So.
Got you.
Yeah, so you're gonna pass on that one, right?
I'm a passing down already. So sorry
Does-
about that.
Would
Just
anybody
wondering.
know off the top of their head the status of Pu'unui Park? If that is a park that has dogs on leash or if it's an off-leash dog park? Yeah. Well, I'm putting the question out to everyone. I don't know.
Say something. What do you think? No, he said no. No. Okay, unless somebody's gonna come up with a motion to,
Chair.
have, yes, who's
Uh,
that?
This is Carol.
Carol, yes, go ahead.
Google says that Pu'unui Community Park allows dogs.
Okay,
And
thank you, Carol.
I think that means leash dogs.
Yeah, no need. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol, for that clarification. Anybody else want to talk about parks and dogs? All right, let's move on. Thank you very much. I just want to make sure it's an open discussion. All right, and down to item number 10, community organization. Anybody from Malahia? No. Anybody from St. Francis? No. Lana-Kila. Carol?
Yep, thank you. So I dropped off a bunch of the handouts, the Lanakila news. And in each one, if you'll look inside, there is I'll do this. There's a flyer for e-recycle and regular recycling event that Lanakila is having on the June 7th, the first Saturday in June. And Susie Chun Oakland has asked if anyone from Neighborhood Board 14 is available to come and help as a volunteer. And so basically, because they're basically collecting things from people dropping off, whether it's the e-waste things like computers, printers, scanners, or TVs, including metal, file cabinets, things like that, hi-fi beverage containers, and batteries and canned goods. And they really need arms, muscles, people to help carry the things from the cars to wherever they're going to recycle. And so if anybody's available, please let me know. And because she just needs a head count so that the people, she'll be able to feed you. If you are available to volunteer, start time is 8:30, and then the event runs from 9 to 11. So probably 8:30 to 11:30. And also, she would like it if everyone on the board would publicize this, because these events are ways that the senior center gets some funds from it. They get some donations depending on how much stuff is brought in. So it helps them a lot on their funding. So they even have listing of like gently used clothing, canned items, eyeglasses, diapers and wipes for Keiki and Kupuna, pet things. So they're going to have, it's a pretty broad spectrum one. So does anybody have any questions?
Can you give us that date again?
It's June 7th, the first Saturday in June.
And you need help with,
Yes.
that is get the items, is that it?
Well, it'd be great if people could go there and donate and recycle, do recycling, but also she's looking for if anybody from Neighborhood Board 14 can come in person to help with the setup and the the event itself.
The reason I asked, my Rotary Club usually helps Lanakila. I'll tell them,
Oh.
my community service chair.
That'd
it.
be great.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
exactly.
Good. Yeah.
So
Chance.
let Susie know.
Chance is going to donate. What are you going to donate?
No, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna donate my time, but no, Carol, I was gonna say if you can let Susie know that I will be there, but
Okay.
I will be there in capacity as a lion, not necessarily a neighborhood board member. I don't know if I can double dip, but
I think
I'll
you
leave
can
that to
double.
Susie's discretion.
But I think you just get one bento, but you can double dip as a person.
That's totally fine. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kara. Any questions? Yes, Donald's going to contribute too.
What is the weight limitation to carry?
I think that because it is the senior center, that they're looking for anybody who can help, whatever you can do. If you're going to collect gently used clothing, that's great. If you can carry the TV, that's great. If you are the guy who's going to help with the file cabinets, awesome. So I think all levels of ability are welcome.
Okay, yeah, let me just check my schedule. If not,
Okay.
I'll volunteer for neighborhood board 14.
Okay, just let me know, Donald.
Thank you very much. Sorry I can't be there on my off island, but I'll donate some stuff. Okay. I'll give it to Donald to carry it.
All right.
Okay. Any
Thank you.
questions? Yes.
I can come and help on June 7, 8:30 a.m.
Okay, you got
Oh,
another volunteer.
Great.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gaga. All right. I think we are about
No.
item.
Um,
We missed something?
Yeah, you got D.
Oh, Friends of Liliha
Yeah,
Library.
this one over here.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure about Brandon because we don't have any input from Liliha Library.
You know,
So if I am permitted, I will go and talk to the librarian at the Liliha Library, and maybe I can represent the library.
I think that's an excellent idea. Why don't you go ahead and do that and you can report back next meeting. It's been 3 years now, I think, since they've renovated. And we're still waiting for the open house. Yeah, okay. Thanks, Don. Anybody else for nonprofit organizations? Okay, if not, the next regular meeting will be on Monday, June the 9th, same time, same station. And I will not be here, but Donna will be chairing and I'll take care of the agenda. So if you got anything to add on the agenda, let me know before I leave. I'm leaving, end of the month. So I'll get the agenda to Don. He can modify it. Yeah.
No, I just had a question. Is that when the new board comes in, Chair?
The new board, I believe, comes in July, right? July. You guys are still on,
you.
guys. Still on. Well, anyway, the new board comes in July. Okay. All right. Anything else? Anybody? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
Moved by Chance.
A second.
Here a second.
Second.
Who said that?
Zoida.
Oh, it's Jordan. Thanks, Sonia. All right, all those in favor of adjourning, raise your right hand. Those opposed? No opposition. The meeting's adjourned at 8:20. 8:30. I changed my watch. Okay, and also thank you everybody for coming. Meeting
Aloha.
adjourned.